Rather than being an icon, Tyler Perry always wanted to be an inspiration. He achieved the billionaire status and also built a media empire.
Tyler Perry's success is a result of his unique approach to storytelling and his relentless work ethic. He started with nothing and built an empire from scratch. He is a highly respected American director, actor, filmmaker, and entrepreneur, and he's the brains and the talent behind the extremely popular Madea franchise. Perry is also a New York Times best-selling author and the mastermind behind over 17 movies, 20 stage plays, and 7 television shows, and the founding of Tyler Perry Studios.
When I built my studio, I built it in a neighborhood that is one of the poorest black neighborhoods in Atlanta, so the young black kids can see that a black man did that and they can do it too.
Cicely Tyson's words about him are heartwarming.
I sometimes cannot believe that someone who came from such lowly stature has risen to a height that I don't know anyone else has. We have more black actors and actresses in the business than we have ever had. He was responsible from the very beginning, giving work on every level to anyone who would say yes. He has not forgotten where he came from, and that's what allows him to be the giver and sharer of what God has blessed him with. Congratulations. You're a blessing to us all. Thank you.
When Cicely Tyson said to me that I revitalized her career, it blew my mind. It's so important that we not forget where we come from and not discard the people that have paved the way.
Also Whoopi Goldberg.
My favorite moment was driving onto that lot and seeing Tyler Perry Studios. I've never met a Warner brother. I've never met the guys that started Universal. And no offense, but there weren't guys that were gonna probably hire me. Time passes and people seem to forget, but Tyler doesn't forget.
And Tiffany Haddish.
Everybody can shoot there. He's providing jobs for people who probably could never get into the business, or they would try and can't get a job.
Many people feel inspired by his story, work, and him as a person.
He's very important, and it's a beautiful thing that he keeps black women working.
When I dedicated one of the sound stages in the studio to Sidney Poitier, he cried because he said he remembers standing at MGM Studios and being the only blackface there.
One of Tyler Perry's key strategies is to create content that resonates with his audience. He understands his audience's needs and delivers stories that can really build a connection with them.
And as you said, many people admire his work. Tyler Perry is very well known for his work ethic. He writes, directs, produces, and acts in many of his projects. He also surrounds himself with a talented team of professionals who share his vision and work ethic.
Yeah, he's impressive. And his life lessons are so inspirational. Have you heard the story he shared when he was 13 years old, helping an old man cross the street?
I don't think I've heard that one.
It's such a beautiful and heartwarming story. He said,
and then there was Mr. Butler. Let me tell you how I met Mr. Butler. I had just started junior high school, and in order for me to get to high school, I had to walk through the drug dealers, literally step over the whores and the drug addicts, walk through a graveyard, then in the next block past gang members, and then go through the projects, and then come to a 6-lane intersection, and it was always busy, but just beyond that was the school. Well, one day as I'm approaching this intersection, I hear this voice saying, "Will someone help me cross?" He was in a suit. He had a cooler in a hand and a folded lawn chair in one hand and his cane in the other. "Will someone help me cross?" he said. People kept ignoring him, walking past him with their busy lives. We were poor, but we were busy. I don't know why poor people are so busy. I said, "I'll help you," in my 13-year-old changing voice. He said, "Well, thank you, son. May I have your shoulder?" I wish I had time to talk about giving your shoulder to somebody. I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Don't trick me now." I said, "No, sir, I won't." We crossed the street. I asked him where he was going. He told me that he was going to my school to sell praline candies to the kids. So I helped him to the school, and he said thank you, and he told me that God would bless me for my kindness. He and I became friends. We took that walk every day. I came out of school one afternoon, and there he was sitting outside in that lawn chair selling praline candies, 25 cents. And I saw one of the kids try to buy candy, right? And they gave Mr. Butler $1, and they told him it was a $5 bill. I stepped in and I said, Mr. Butler, this is a scam. Needless to say, I had a lot of enemies at that school, but it didn't matter. I was glad to do it. You see, Mr. Butler was one of the first men in my life to see me. And what made it all the more special is that he was blind. He was a point of light. One morning I was late meeting him, and as I walked up to the intersection, I could see Mr. Butler standing there, not saying a word. So I tipped up behind him and I said, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna wait to see what happens. He said, I know you're there, son. I said, yes, sir, I am. I said, I didn't hear you saying, will someone help me cross? He said, no, I was listening for you. I said, you were? He said, yes. Sometimes in life, son, when you pray and you've said all you can say, all you have to do is stand and wait and listen. What a point of light he was. There are many people in this world that are wanting, waiting, saying, asking, begging, hoping. Will someone help me cross? We all have the power.
Wow, that's definitely a beautiful story and a very important life lesson. He certainly knows about success and achievement, and because I believe success leaves clues, so why don't we dig a little more into Tyler Perry's success tips?
Absolutely, a few success gems. It's always a good thing to enable us to use and benefit from in our own lives.
So, after rising far above poverty, creating a significant international brand, owning a BET stake, and a net worth of billions of dollars is not a fit for the faint-hearted. To see a little black boy who grew up poor in New Orleans becoming a billionaire despite all the challenges, criticism, and obstacles is pretty huge. Tyler Perry, for sure, is one heck of a trailblazer. We all know success is not by accident, it's an intentional process for those who are ready to follow that path.
Yeah, considering his impressive list of achievements, I think we can dive into 5 success tips from Tyler Perry that can inspire everyone. Tip number 1. Focus on a thing, make it your priority, and stick with it. The most evident trait in the life of Tyler is focus, and focus is the product of resiliency and consistency. Tyler didn't start out trying to be everywhere. He had a niche and a passion to motivate and inspire people through movies, so he stuck with it. You can't succeed if you lack focus, resiliency, and consistency.
That's true because much of Tyler Perry's success can be attributed to his focus. Had Tyler put his attention on 2 or 3 other plays in an attempt to find success, he very likely wouldn't have found the winning combination within his one play that would eventually win over the audience. His own quotes on the matter describes how he sees it.
Know your intention as to why you do what you do. And I promise you, if your intention is right, you will be successful.
Tip number 2. Ownership changes everything.
While everybody was fighting for a seat at the table, talking about Oscar so white, I said, y'all go ahead and do that. But while you fighting for a seat at the table, I'll be down in Atlanta building my own. I want you to hear this. Every dreamer in this room, there are people whose lives are tied into your dream. Own your stuff. Own your business. Own your way.
He who has the gold makes the rules. One thing Tyler Perry made sure of was not selling or giving anyone control over his creative output. Starting can be challenging. Often, people fall into the temptation of signing off their rights or future in exchange for an opportunity or a juicy deal. But Tyler understood that giving off your creative output was the easiest way of becoming a milk cow. Ownership, intellectual property protections account for more than $8 trillion in economic activity, according to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO.
Yeah. The current social media landscape relies on and capitalizes on user-created content. Everything you share or post has monetary value, and leveraging that content through ownership can help Black creators and entrepreneurs maximize their profits and the longevity of their businesses. To bridge the wage gap, Black entrepreneurs should strive to obtain legal ownership of patents, trademarks, and copyrights. Historically, U.S. copywriting laws have disproportionately marginalized Black people trying to obtain them and still do.
This fact furthers the need to facilitate more guidance and discourse within the Black community on ways to obtain ownership of our physical and intellectual property. To avoid being vulnerable or dependent on anyone, he started out making low-cost movies. He used the popularity he gained from them to leverage deals with companies like Viacom and TBS without relinquishing any of his creative output.
He's brilliant. And that was how Tyler Perry made his dreams a reality. When he started writing scripts, he sold cars, served as a bill collector, and was able to save $12,000, which he used to rent a space at a community theater in Atlanta to produce a work he had drafted in his spare time. He kicked off his career from there, touring and performing his debut drama, I Know I've Been Changed.
Tip number 3. Networking. One other remarkable thing about Tyler's success is he didn't just stop at producing low-cost movies. He went on to the network, met Oprah, his role model, and made many more connections that fetched him millions. We can't overemphasize the importance of networking. Consider networking and stepping out of your comfort zone if you want to make it big. That's right. Network as much as you can. And surround yourself with other people with good connections that interests you.
Tip number 4. Dream big. I don't think dreams ever die, Tyler Perry once said. I think that people give up. So, while dreaming big is important, another key strategy is to be persistent and never give up. Tyler Perry faced many obstacles and rejections early in his career, but he never gave up on his dream. He kept working hard and improving his craft until he achieved success. One of the most important elements that lead to Tyler Perry finally realizing the success he sought was his persistence and determination.
Had he quit on year 3, 4, or 5 during those first 7 years when he was struggling to get his play off the ground, his play never would have reached its potential.
I faced a lot of challenges. The biggest one I think would be learning in progress. I was always learning as it was happening and learning in real time.
But he persisted and iterated his offering until it became irresistible to his audiences. There are a lot of people who have dreams, goals, and hopes, but there aren't a lot who get to see them realized.
Tyler Perry never stopped chasing his dreams. He never gave up, even when at times it got too hard. He continued pursuing his dreams, and this is what he suggests people to never give up and to be determined to accomplish your dreams and goals.
You're okay. You're going to be okay. So I would say to anybody, just look for the little things that encourage you, even if you don't see anything, the little small things that keep you going. So for every little thing that somebody did, I was able to make a little step, and each step was forward. And to be here on this side, what I say to anybody, if the pain is the buy-in, what are you paying for? Had I stopped then, had I died then, had I given up, I would have missed the best part of my life. I would have missed being able to help thousands of people see their dreams come true. So my hope for anyone who knows, like you know it in your soul, there's something. No path, nothing makes sense. You don't know how to get there, but you know for sure something's out there. My hope is one little step at a time. Keep going.
And finally, tip number 5. Embrace failure. Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of a journey towards success. Embracing failure is a valuable method for gaining a growth mindset. I came across this concept of growth mindset from the book Mindset by Carol S. Dweck. A growth mindset believes that abilities and intelligence get developed through dedication, effort, and learning. It encourages individuals to view challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and to approach them with resilience, perseverance, and a willingness to learn. By shifting our perspective on failure and adopting a mindset focused on learning and improvement, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and set the stage for greater success. Tyler Perry is definitely a remarkable example of someone who embraced failure and turned it into tremendous success.
People say you had failures in the beginning, and I feel like I've never failed at anything that I started out in this career, because everything I thought was a failure ended up teaching me something incredibly valuable.
This is a very interesting perspective on failure. And that makes a lot of sense, because he indeed has been persistent and failed many times before achieving success. A great example on persistence and believing in your dreams. He is also a firm believer in giving back to his community. He uses his success to support charitable causes and inspire others to achieve their dreams. And he has wonderful tips for beginners, and he's always talking about the importance of your circle and of looking to the things that inspire and encourage you.
Yeah, the 51-year-old entertainer owns the entirety of his creative output, including more than 1,200 episodes of television, 22 feature films, and at least 24 stage plays, as well as a 330-acre studio lot at the edge of Atlanta's southern limits. He used that control to leverage a deal with Viacom-CBS that pays him $150 million a year for new content. From humble origins in New Orleans, Tyler Perry set the foundation for his ascension to billionaire media mogul who wrote, produced, and starred in his own success story.
Did you enjoy these success tips? Share your favorite in the comments below.
Also, let us know in the comments any other wealthy success tips you would like to see on the channel. Make sure to subscribe.
And check out this playlist about the Wealthy Blueprint.